The night air is thick, heavy. You can feel it in your lungs. We are deep in the Egyptian desert, miles from any known civilization. Above us, the sky is a canvas of black and angry purple, ripped open by jagged bolts of lightning. Thunder cracks, not like a distant drum, but like the sky itself is breaking apart. This is no ordinary storm. It feels ancient, it feels angry. We're standing before the ruins of a temple, forgotten by time, its entrance choked by the creeping sands. A temple that, according to local legend, was never meant to be found. They say it was buried for a reason, sealed away to protect the world from what lies within its dark, crumbling walls. We came here following a lead, a whisper on the wind, a fragmented map bought in a dusty Cairo back alley from a man whose eyes held a fear I've seen only in the most haunted of places. He spoke of forbidden texts, of a power that could rewrite history, or end it. As we push aside the heavy vine-covered stone blocking the entrance, a gust of wind howls out from the darkness within. It's not just air, it feels like a warning, a cold, spectral hand pushing us back, telling us to leave. But we can't. We have to understand. We have to know what secrets this place has guarded for 3 millennia. This is our investigation. Inside, the air is stale, thick with the smell of dust and something else. Something organic and metallic, like old blood. Our flashlights cut through the oppressive darkness, revealing walls covered in hieroglyphs unlike any I've seen before. They're not just carvings. They feel alive, writhing in the flickering light. They tell a story not of gods and pharaohs, but of shadows and fear. Deeper within, in a small hidden chamber, we find it. A sealed clay jar, untouched for centuries. The energy in this room is off the charts. My EMF meter is screaming, a chaotic symphony of electromagnetic interference. We are not alone in here. Something is watching, waiting. With trembling hands, we break the ancient seal. The sound echoes through the silent temple like a gunshot. Inside is not gold, not jewels, but a collection of papyrus scrolls, brittle with age. They are covered in a script that is both beautiful and terrifying. As we unroll the first one, the temperature in the chamber plummets. I can see my breath. A low whisper seems to emanate from the very stone around us, a language I don't understand. Yet my soul recognizes its dread. We have just uncovered something that was meant to stay buried. We have just opened a door that can never be closed again. The secrets of the sands are about to be unleashed. We move the scrolls to a secure location, a candle-lit room somewhere in the heart of the old city. The storm still rages outside, as if it followed us from the desert. The energy here is raw, unfiltered. These aren't just pieces of paper, they are vessels. They hold the voices, the fears of people who lived 3,000 years ago. Dr. Aris Thorne, a renegade Egyptologist shunned by the mainstream for his radical theories, leans over the texts. His face is pale in the flickering light. He translates the first lines, his voice barely a whisper. It doesn't speak of harvests or royal decrees. It speaks of the eaters of light, celestial beings who descended from the Duat, the Egyptian underworld, not as gods, but as conquerors. The texts describe a world plunged into an unnatural darkness. Not an eclipse, but a veil of shadow that fell upon the land. The sun was there, but its light did not reach the ground. People vanished from their homes, their fields, their beds. The papyrus speaks of a high priest named Neb-Hathor, who documented these events in secret. He wrote that these shadow beings were not spirits, but physical entities that moved through the fog, their forms indistinct, their presence marked only by a chilling cold and a high-pitched hum that drove men mad. The official records from this period are strangely silent, as if an entire chapter of history was deliberately erased. Dr. Thorne points to a specific symbol, one that appears again and again. It's not a known hieroglyph. It depicts a spiral turning inward, with 3 jagged lines cutting through it. The texts call it the mark of the unseen. Neb-Hathor wrote that anyone who saw these beings up close, who looked into the shimmering void where their faces should be, was found days later with this mark carved into their skin. They were alive, but their minds were gone. Their souls, he wrote, had been harvested. The energy in our room grows heavier with each word translated. The feeling of being watched intensifies. We are not just reading history, we are inviting it into our world. One scroll is different. It's a star chart, but the constellations are wrong. They are not as they would have appeared from Egypt 3,000 years ago. Dr. Thorne runs the configuration through his astronomical software. It's a match. But it's not from our solar system. The star patterns are from a viewpoint deep in the Orion Nebula. The text accompanying the chart is a chilling prayer, an incantation. It's a plea to the old gods to seal a gateway, a tear in the fabric of night that these beings were using to cross over. These weren't just stories. They were a warning, a set of instructions, and a record of a war for survival that humanity has long forgotten. The name Amun-Ra is known to all, the great sun god, king of the gods. But these texts paint a different picture, a darker one. Neb-Hathor, the scribe, writes that the established priesthood, the powerful cult of Amun-Ra, was not what it seemed. He claims they didn't worship the god of the sun, but instead appeased the shadow beings he called the Eaters of Light. It was a pact, a terrible bargain made to maintain their power. They offered sacrifices to keep the creatures at bay, to direct their hunger away from the ruling elite and toward the common people. It was a conspiracy of cosmic proportions, hidden behind a veneer of religious devotion. The texts describe secret rituals held in subterranean tunnels beneath the grand temples of Karnak. Tunnels that are not on any official map. During nights of the new moon, when the darkness was absolute, the high priests would convene. They would chant the names of the shadow beings, not the gods. Neb-Hathor writes that he secretly followed them once. He describes a massive circular chamber lit by an eerie phosphorescent fungus. In the center, a deep shaft descended into the earth, a conduit to the Duat. He watched as the priests offered not animals, but people, dissidents, criminals, and others who had been erased from the records. They were sent into the shaft as tribute. This is a radical theory. It suggests that one of ancient Egypt's most powerful religious orders was in fact a dark cult managing an ancient, terrifying threat. Dr. Thorne believes this explains why so many records from that specific era are missing. They weren't lost to time. They were systematically destroyed by the priesthood to hide their unholy alliance. The official narrative of a prosperous and stable kingdom was a lie, a carefully constructed facade to mask a society living in constant fear, ruled by men who had sold their souls to entities from another dimension. The whispers from the papyrus are becoming screams. We decide to investigate these claims. Using ground-penetrating radar around the Karnak temple complex, we find anomalies, voids, tunnels exactly where Neb-Hathor's scrolls described them. They are deep, inaccessible, and officially they do not exist. When we present our findings, we are met with silence, hostility. Officials deny their existence. Academics dismiss the texts as fantasy, the ravings of a heretic. But the energy doesn't lie. The fear in the eyes of those who warn us away is real. We are getting closer to a truth that has been protected for millennia. A secret that the powers that be, both ancient and modern, will do anything to keep buried. The story of the scribe, Neb-Hathor, ends abruptly. His last entry is frantic, almost paranoid. He writes that the priests know he is watching. He can feel their eyes on him, even in the solitude of his hidden chamber. He describes seeing the mark of the unseen, that terrifying spiral, painted right on his own door. He knows, without a doubt, they are coming for him. He writes that he must hide the scrolls, entrusting them to the desert, praying that one day someone will find them and reveal the truth. They do not kill you, he writes. They unmake you. After that, the ink just stops. Neb-Hathor vanishes from history. There's no record of his death, no tomb. He was simply erased. His disappearance is not an isolated incident. As we dig deeper, we uncover a pattern. Throughout history, anyone who has come close to this forbidden knowledge has met a similar fate. There was a French archaeologist in the 1880s who wrote letters to his brother about discovering heretical texts that spoke of shadow pharaohs. He disappeared from his dig site near Luxor. His tent was found empty, his notes burned, and a strange spiral symbol was carved into the central pole. Then there was a British historian in the 1920s who claimed the Amun-Ra priesthood was a front for something infinitely older and darker. He vanished from his London flat. His research was gone. The only thing left behind was a single papyrus fragment with the same star chart found in Neb-Hathor's scrolls. The pattern continues into the modern day. Dr. Thorne shares a story he has never told publicly. His mentor, a brilliant but eccentric professor, was the one who first theorized about the shadow cult. He was ridiculed, his career destroyed. One night he called Thorne absolutely terrified. He said he had found something, a key, a way to prove it all. He told Thorne to meet him at the university library. But when Thorne arrived, the library was dark and empty. His mentor was gone. All his files were wiped. The only thing left on his desk was a book on Egyptian astronomy, open to a page on the Orion Nebula, with the mark of the unseen drawn in its margins. He was never seen again. This isn't a curse, it's a conspiracy, a cover-up that has spanned 3,000 years. It seems there is a group, an organization, that has been tasked with protecting this secret. The descendants of the Amun-Ra priesthood, perhaps? A secret society that continues to guard the gateway and appease the entities Neb-Hathor wrote about. As we work, we feel their presence. The sense of being watched is constant. We see shadowy figures at the edges of our vision. We hear whispers on our audio recorders in an ancient guttural language. We are now part of the story. And we know that, like Neb-Hathor and the others, we are in grave danger. Among the scrolls, one contains a prophecy. It is written in a different hand, believed to be even older than Neb-Hathor's writings. It is known as the Serpent's Prophecy. It speaks not of the past, but of the future. It predicts a time when the stars will align in a specific pattern, the same pattern seen in the alien star chart. When this alignment occurs, the veil of shadow will thin, and the gateway, sealed long ago by the early gods, will weaken. The prophecy states that the Eaters of Light will return, not in trickles, but as a flood to reclaim a world they believe is theirs. The prophecy is chillingly specific. It gives a date. Dr. Thorne has done the calculations. He has checked and rechecked them, his hands shaking as he works. The astronomical alignment described in the Serpent's Prophecy, a celestial convergence that hasn't happened in over 3,000 years, is not some distant future event. It is happening now tonight. The storm that has been raging since we found the temple is not a meteorological event. It is a symptom, a sign that the barrier between worlds is failing. The prophecy says their return will be heralded by a sky of bleeding iron and a silence that screams. The eerie reddish glow of the clouds and the strange high-pitched frequency on our equipment suggest the prophecy is unfolding before our very eyes. The prophecy also speaks of a fail-safe, a last resort. It describes a chamber hidden deep beneath the Giza Plateau called the Chamber of the Final Sleep. It's not a tomb for a pharaoh, but a stasis chamber. According to the text, it holds the first guardian, a being or a weapon, the translation is unclear, of immense power, placed there by the original gods to be awakened only at the final hour. The prophecy says this guardian is the only thing that can push back the darkness and reinforce the seal. But to awaken, it requires a key. The texts are cryptic, speaking of a heart of stone that beats with the rhythm of the stars. This is where the conspiracy theories and the ancient texts collide. For decades, researchers have spoken of rumoured hidden chambers under the Sphinx. Mainstream Egyptology dismisses these as fantasies. But what if they are real? What if the Chamber of the Final Sleep is the true purpose of the Giza complex? What if the pyramids are not tombs, but massive power generators designed to focus energy into that chamber? And what if the secret society that has been guarding this knowledge for centuries is not trying to keep the Eaters of Light out, but is instead waiting for the prophecy to be fulfilled to finally unleash them upon the world? We are now faced with an impossible choice. The scrolls give the location of this chamber of the final sleep. They provide the incantations, the rituals needed to open it. We have the knowledge that Neb-Hathor died to protect. But the texts come with one final terrifying warning. Awakening the Guardian is not without immense risk. The prophecy states that in order to fight the shadow, one must embrace the void. It suggests the power of the Guardian is as dangerous and alien as the threat it's meant to combat. Unleashing it could save the world, or it could be the final act that destroys it. The line between protector and destroyer is terrifyingly thin. Was the secret society, the modern-day priesthood, trying to prevent us from finding the scrolls, to stop us from making a catastrophic mistake? Or are they a malevolent force hoping we fail? The ambiguity is maddening. The whispers in the dark grow louder, more insistent. The shadows in the corner of the room seem to coalesce, to take form. The air is so cold it hurts to breathe. The high-pitched hum is now a deafening roar in our minds. The gateway is opening. The prophecy is coming true. We stand at a precipice, looking into an abyss of history and legend. The greatest secret of ancient Egypt is not about gold or hidden tombs of pharaohs. It's about a war that was fought in the shadows, a war that was lost, and a fragile truce held in place for 3,000 years. A truce that we have just broken. The scrolls are a legacy, a weapon and a curse all at once. The knowledge they hold is a burden that feels too heavy to bear. Every instinct, every shred of self-preservation screams at us to burn the scrolls, to forget what we have learned and to run. But we can't. The world outside is unaware, sleeping, while an ancient horror claws its way back into existence. The biggest unanswered question remains: what is inside the chamber of the final sleep? Is it our salvation or our damnation? And who are we to decide the fate of the world? The texts have given us the key, but they have not told us what lies on the other side of the door. The truth, for now, remains buried beneath the sand, in an unopened chamber. And as the red storm rages, we are left to wonder if some secrets should have stayed buried forever.